Welcome back, everybody. It's me, Pat Monahan, back with you on your weekly Patcast. Just a couple of news items this week. As you've probably heard me mention over the past couple of months, Train has a new album out on September 16th. iTunes has been doing this pre-order deal, and it works like this. You pre-order the record, and each week up to the album release, as part of their instant gratification program, you get to hear another new track. Cadillac is on iTunes August 19th as our latest instant grat track. That's tomorrow, if you're tuning in to this podcast in a timely fashion. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast on iTunes so you can see when the new podcasts get posted. Also, in new album-related news, we will be doing record release shows in New York City, San Francisco, and Los Angeles. Those are all in September to support the release of the album. They're at Radio City Music Hall, the Masonic in San Francisco, and Pantages Theater in Los Angeles, respectively. If you are in New York City, San Francisco, or LA, come hang with us. Let us know if you're going to be around, and we'll try to sneak you into the show. If you aren't, come hang with us anyway, and we'll try to sneak you in the back door just like we used to do at movie theaters when we were kids, and I still try to do as an adult because I am a cheap man. If you can make this trip, these shows are going to be a lot of fun for all of us, and we're going to play a lot of new stuff as well. Actually, I don't even go to movies anymore. Pergo just steals the movie for me, and he streams it on my computer. So yeah, I'm just being honest. And a big thank you to everyone who came out to see us in the UK this past week. It was so great to be back there and see so many familiar faces and friends. We played the amazing festival called V-Fest, and sharing the lineup with the Killers, Sam Smith, Nile Rodgers, and a lot of other great artists. Speaking of amazing artists, this week's guests are just that, Striking Matches. It's a combination of Justin Davis and Sarah Zimmerman, and the two of them came from very different places. They met in Nashville at college, and the way they came together is kind of a crazy story. So I'll let you hear it from them, but I first heard about them because of our good friend John Grady, who's a manager at Crush Management. He manages them. John might just be the most interesting man in the music business, and we'll have him on this podcast eventually. We actually had him scheduled the other day, but we bumped him for someone much bigger and much more interesting. That's not true. There's nobody bigger or more interesting, but John couldn't do it at the time, so we'll get him next week when we see him again. Sorry, Grady. Anyway, if you're a regular listener, you may have heard us mention his name before. He also manages Ashley Monroe, other super talented Nashville-based writers and musicians, and my duet partner is also Ashley Monroe on Bruises. Grady was there when we podcasted Ashley, and he was also around for the Striking Matches podcast, so he was able to chime in here and there. So Sarah and Justin got together to form Striking Matches, and as their fate would have it, they found Grady, put out an EP, got it in front of some of the right people, and ended up having an incredible 7 songs on a TV show called Nashville. And that has really gotten them off to a great start. They've been touring heavily behind the EP and simultaneously finishing up work on their debut full-length album, also produced similarly to Ashley Monroe by T-Bone Burnett. They've been coming out to open for Train at a number of our tour dates this summer, so we were able to catch up with them recently before a show we did in Lake Tahoe. Sarah has also been coming out to sing Bruises with me during our Train set, and she does a great job, so thanks, Sarah. She was so nervous she missed the first line in the first night that we did this together, and so I made sure to give her a really difficult time about it, as you'll hear. But the truth is that both her and Justin are remarkable musicians and great talents. They're great songwriters. They both rip on guitar and various other stringed instruments. They put on a great live show, and they played us some great stuff on this podcast. So I'm excited for you to hear that and for me to hear that. And I'm pleased to present to you this amazing new duo from Nashville, Tennessee, striking matches right here on the Patcast.
What do you do when nobody's looking? Nobody's looking. What do you do? What do you do when nobody's looking? Nobody's looking, looking at you. You got to get it while the getting is good. Laugh when you can, cry when you should. You got to give it till the giving is gone. Do what you can, then you move on. What do you do when nobody's looking? Nobody's looking. What do you do? What do you do when nobody's looking? Nobody's looking, looking at you.
So, hey, we're rolling. So, some really good friends of Ashley Monroe are joining me, and Ashley's a really good friend of mine. So, I would like to welcome Sarah Zimmerman and Justin Davis, or as we like to call them, striking matches
Thank
from
you.
Nashville, Tennessee. How's it going, y'all?
Good.
Sarah, you're from Pennsylvania. What's up with that?
I am from outside Philadelphia, and I don't miss it much.
And so, how does a girl from Pennsylvania end up playing country music? And is that just from Philadelphia? You think you'd be in hip hop or something?
You'd think, but I think I fell in love with country music early on, and the guitar early on, and so kind of knew
What did your parents listen to in Pennsylvania?
A lot of like Chicago, Steely Dan, James Taylor, Joni Mitchell. That's kind of what I grew up with. But then started to get into like the Dixie Chicks were like my favorite band as a kid, like 12, 13 years old. My favorite because they can all play.
That's a good
so they were
band.
So they were kind of my sort of introduction to country music, and then I started going back to Patsy Cline and Johnny Cash and all that stuff. So that's what got me
really
on
interesting. How old are you?
It's 26.
26.
I had to think about it for a second.
And so,
I remembered.
Justin, you're from Atlanta?
Yep, I'm from Atlanta. Well,
So did you grow up listening to country music?
Yeah, my folks listened to it, so I listened to it when
You didn't have a choice?
No. As soon as I had a choice, then I broke off and listened to, because you can't listen to what your parents are listening to, man.
Yeah.
At a certain point.
What'd you get into?
And well, probably more of the classic rock thing. It was still kind of what my dad was into, but you know, he was into Steely Dan and Fleetwood Mac and Martin Knopfler and those guys, Dire Straits, and so I mean.
Is that where this comes from?
Yeah. I mean, anybody who
No pick.
No pick. Yeah,
no
I was
pick.
going to say, your style to me reminds me of two people. Lindsey Buckingham
All right. Okay.
and John Mayer.
Okay. Well, I definitely looked up to Lindsey Buckingham. I don't know, in a
Yeah.
Yeah, how did
Deity kind
that
of
happen
fashion.
where you just decided that you didn't want to play with a pick?
It was easy. I kept losing them. Yeah, for
That's
real.
the real story.
It was like, I keep losing these picks, and I don't have a job, and so I can't buy anymore. And
So-
so I'm just kind of saying, I'm
Wow.
not going to play with a pick anymore.
You can't even afford a pick.
Now, well, I probably could now. I just
You have
can't
terrible
afford.
management, don't you?
Believe it or not, times are tough.
Who's managing you guys?
Mr. John Grady.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
Grady! Grady's the best in the business.
Yes, we
He's
love
taking care
him.
of Ashley Monroe.
Yeah.
So
He's right
I'll
behind
just
us.
jump back between you guys since you're
Yeah.
two people. But you played in Ashley's band, huh, Sarah?
Yeah. For
What was
about,
that like? Is she does she run a tight ship, or is it just like anything but that?
You know, I wouldn't say she runs a tight ship. She knows what she wants for sure. She's so great and so talented. You know, she knows how to get it done and get
She
the
knows how to
band
get what she wants,
to get
huh?
it done. Yeah, but I mean, we had a
that's the
blast.
real gift of a Southern gal. They just know how to get what they want.
Yeah.
And then when your pockets are empty and your car is gone and the house and everything, you go like, what happened? You don't even know what happened, because that's what the gift of the Southern girl is about. Look, Grady knows what I'm talking about.
Isn't that right, Grady? He's nodding.
And so here you guys are. You're shredding guitar players. You make me very upset when you perform before us, because I get up there and I'm a schmuck. And I don't know how to do any of this stuff. And so what made you want to play instruments? Are you from musical families?
I am. I grew up, my dad used to play when all the shows would come off Broadway and come to Philadelphia. He played like the woodwinds and the pit orchestras. So I grew up around a lot of that, and I put clarinet was my first instrument, and then but he worked in a music store, and so had the guitars on the wall, and so I just okay, hey Dad, I want to play that, and it took forever, but he finally got me this little crappy acoustic, kind of went from there. But I just kind of grew up with it. My brothers are both musicians. My mom's a singer, so it
Are
was
your
always
brothers
around.
making a living as being musicians?
No, my younger brother's a great bass player, but he's a special ed math and science teacher. He doesn't want to do it for a living. My older brother's kind of a prog rock singer, doing his thing.
They support what you do?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're proud of me.
Do they like Justin?
I think so. Most of the time. No.
Not very well.
He's a man of mystery, I think.
Yeah, you're the quiet guy.
Mystery unto myself, even. I don't.
Hey, would you guys mind just blasting into a song, because you have this you have such great songs, and you don't even have an album out yet, but that's going to come out when?
We're hoping for the fall.
Yeah.
Really? Well, I would
Later.
I would love for you to play the ballad that I heard. That did it start on Nashville, the television show? Is that how that song got so many plays on Spotify?
Yeah, definitely. We had put it on our EP right before that aired, but it was our first song on the show.
I would love for
that's
people
how
to hear
know
it, because
sure.
I think more people will recognize it than maybe know your name right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you haven't put the whole deal out. But
Right.
I think
Yeah.
we'd all love to hear it.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right.
Do you not play on this
I
one?
don't. This is the one
Oh,
song
cool.
that we've
You
ever
just
written that I
sing.
don't
Cool.
play
That's
guitar
great.
on.
You making noise?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I got you. Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's no music, no confetti, crowds don't cheer and bells don't ring, but you know it, I can guarantee when the right one comes along, what they're thinking, what you're feeling, you no longer have to guess. And all these questions are finally put to rest when the right one comes along. Every single broken heart will lead you to the truth. You think you know what you're looking for, till what you're looking for finds you in a cold world. It's a warm place where you know that you're supposed to be. A million moments full of sweet relief when the right one comes along. Every single broken heart will lead you to
Too bad we weren't rolling.
Man, that's amazing. Why are people from Pennsylvania the most talented people in the world, and then say somebody from Ohio, like Jerry, they just don't have what we have? What is that? Did we just take all the goodness
Probably.
from that region?
I think so.
Actually, he's far more talented than me, and I have to hurt him occasionally because of it.
Most of the time.
So, yeah, just most of the time. So you guys met at Belmont College?
You did.
How?
It's actually a university. Just,
Oh, okay, Belmont University.
It used to be a college,
I'll tell you
though.
what, you're real hard to like. I'm just going to throw that out there.
I'm
While you're working through the mystery of yourself, know that I'm in the background. I'm happy to help
get that
guide you.
Man, you and my mom, they're like, right?
Yeah, we're probably the same age, too. So you went to Belmont University.
Yes.
And that makes sense for you going from Atlanta, but from Philadelphia, it doesn't make as much sense. What was the inspiration behind that?
I actually had a neighbor that went there, and so that kind of put it there, sort of put it on my radar just while I was kind of looking at colleges. But I was thinking about going to Berkeley. I almost ended up at Berkeley. So did Justin, actually.
When you
so
say
we probably
Berkeley,
would've-
you mean Berkeley School of Music?
Yes,
there
in
are two.
Boston. Yep.
And you almost did the same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I saw the snow, and then I
Right, me too.
That was
And
Yeah, that makes
Easy.
sense.
And I already had a couple of family members in Nashville as well, so it made a little more
That's cool.
sense. In case I hated school, I could go there for
Okay,
dinner.
so you go to Belmont. The first time you guys played together, tell us about that story.
Well, that was when we were both freshmen. It was probably the first week of school, and no one knew anyone.
Anybody.
No one knew anyone.
I didn't know.
And
soul
you're
enough.
both majoring in guitar?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because just like, well, what do we want to do? I don't know. Let's go to school and learn guitar.
Yeah.
That sounds good. And so all the guitar majors were all together, and freshman through senior, and they were having all the freshman guys coming in, get up 2 by 2 with a random other freshman you didn't know.
And the prof would say,
Yes.
okay,
yes.
you and
you
you.
would go down
Yeah.
the roll and kind of say Timmy O'Brien and
Yeah.
Zanzibar, Nantucket. Get up and
I don't
play.
believe anything that you're
There-
saying.
yeah.
Anymore,
I went to school with them. They were good guys. Yeah.
Go on.
And so they were going down 2 by 2 like that, and you had to get up with someone you didn't know
Yeah.
and improvise something
Yeah.
on the spot. It could be anything. You could play Stairway to Heaven if you wanted to, if the other person knew it. And Sarah was the only girl in the class, and I remember thinking, just sitting around the group of guys, we were just, man, as long as we don't get the girl, then we're
Crazy.
okay. We're all right. Because I had never.
It's like softball or kickball.
Yeah.
It's
I had
like
never seen
nobody
a girl
wants-
guitar player other than maybe Bonnie Raitt that could, hold their own.
Yep.
Just being from small
Bonnie
town
Raitt's
Georgia.
a serious
Yep.
Yeah.
entity.
And I don't think anyone else had either. So when they called me and they called her, I was thinking, great. It's just my luck.
Doomed.
Just
I'm
my luck.
gonna die.
And it was just your luck.
Yes. And we got up and I said, hey, do you know any blues or something? And she's been playing blues for forever, and she whipped out her
Well, her
slide.
middle name is Muddy Waters.
Yes,
It
that's
is,
right.
you're right.
There's a lot of syllables in that.
It's a terrible middle name.
It really is.
Your
I don't know what my mom was
parents
thinking,
did not do
yeah.
a good job with that.
But we
So
played.
you got up there, and all of a sudden it was like,
Yep.
and you were probably like, damn.
Yeah, she left everybody's jaw on the floor, including mine, I think. And so we should do that again.
Is that right? You
Yeah.
just said we should do that again.
We should do that again.
When we just kind of started jamming, we had a lot of mutual music, loves, and so started just playing songs we knew, and then figured out we kind of both had written for a while, and started doing sort of the rounds you can do around town, Hotel Indigo, and all those places, just for fun, just to try it out. But try out the songs we're doing. But people started to come up to us after and like, "Who are you? What's your band name?" And we're kind of like, "Oh, I guess we're a band now."
we're a band.
Never really thought about it
that's
until
cool.
it was kind of already happening.
And so, is it true that you guys were found by John Grady on YouTube?
Yes.
And so, is that why you flunked out of college?
yeah, that's one way to
Probably.
put it. I mean, yeah, we say we weren't fired. We
John
quit.
Grady is responsible for wasting your parents' money. That's what I'm just trying to get to the heart of the matter.
Yeah, they haven't spoken to me since. Or him.
Right.
Yeah, so he saw us on YouTube.
Right.
a
Well, he
video
saw us. I guess someone he knew had shown him this video. We had made a video with some classmates. They were video production kind of majors, and we were kind of starting what we were doing, and so they're like, why don't we do a video on you? And so put it out on YouTube, and I guess Grady had seen it the day before he was coming to speak at a class that I was taking at Vanderbilt.
Belmont.
It was actually at Vanderbilt, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why it was over there, actually.
Yeah.
I had gotten a scholarship to go take this one class. I was like, cool, I'll do that. And Grady was the guest speaker, and so he walks in the room, and I'm just sitting in the front row, and he sat down, and he pointed at me. He was like, I know you. And I was like, what? Really? And kind of just, he, started talking, and I had Googled him before he was going to speak at the class, just so I, knew who was coming by. And I was like, wow, this guy's seen my video. That's cool. And really just kind of started to talk after that, and got coffee, I think, the next couple days, and
Played some songs.
Yeah. And formed a bond. The rest is history.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And so, the song that you just performed sounds a little bit like I Can't Make You Love Me. Like a little bit of a, but it's happier. I think it's happier.
It is happier, I think.
Melancholy, kind of, more like a hopeful thing.
Yeah, is it?
Right,
It's a hopeful song?
Yeah.
I'd say so.
You haven't met the one that's right. You're
but
just
it's saying
talking about.
they're out there. When you do, you'll know it, kind of.
Right.
Yeah.
But it won't.
Somehow.
Will you sing it again to
I know.
Pergo?
Yeah.
You just sing it directly to him, because I don't think he
Look at him.
believes anymore. I think he's basically cashed it all in.
Oh, no.
Great. Everything's coming
Oh, no.
Not really.
So tell us about the whole connection with the show Nashville, because has anybody written more songs for the show than you?
There might
don't know.
be
I mean, 7
one,
songs,
Yeah, I don't know.
right? Is it
we've been-
7?
Yeah, it was
7.
7 when the new season starts. Our 7th song is on the first episode. That kind of just came out of, we write for Universal Publishing, and I guess it was like right before the pilot had even aired or anything, the music supervisors were in town for a week or so, I think, listening to songs all week. And I guess they were on their way to the airport, and one of our publishers called them and like, can you come over? We'll feed you lunch. We'll take you to the airport. We really want you to hear this duo that we've got. So we got to play for them live instead of like hearing, demos or whatever, which was cool. And just did like 3 songs and made them cry. That's always a good thing, I think.
We knew we had knocked it out of the park
Yeah.
or completely
Or-
bombed it.
Yeah,
Right.
destroyed
That's
it.
basically the nature of
Yeah.
music.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like people ask,
exactly.
hey man, you guys are done with your record, huh? Yeah. What's it like? It's either the best thing we've ever done or the worst.
Right.
I don't know yet.
We'll find out. So that kind of just spawned a relationship, and a couple months after that, we found out When the Round Comes Along was getting cut, and then they ended up we kept getting calls about other songs, and some of them were just songs we had written but weren't really sure they were going to be Striking Matches songs, really, and just really happy that they found a home on the TV.
How long have you guys been doing this together?
I guess about 4 years now.
How often do you guys get in fights?
Good
Constantly.
question.
Really?
No.
You never do, huh? You both
No.
seem
No, we
so
do.
easy.
It happens. I mean, we're
Depends on who
together
plays more
all
wrong
the time. I mean,
What are
you know,
some
I
of the
mean,
things you call each other behind your backs?
Oh, I don't have
like,
anything.
like let's say you and I are hanging out
Yeah.
without Justin right now, and he
Oh, this
just
is good.
totally pissed you off. What do you say about him?
Oh man, I don't know. I would probably just say that was really mean and hurtful, but he's really so nice.
the truth comes out finally.
Yeah, but I don't think I could ever say anything
so
bad
much like
about
Ashley
you.
Monroe to
I
me.
would
Like,
just-
you're so mean and hurtful, but I love you anyway.
Yeah.
Like that's so
That's probably
Ashley.
all I got.
That's where you
That's
learned
why
it, right?
she's one of my best friends.
Yeah, you guys are close. Who's your best friend? Hunter Hayes?
Oh man, I don't have a best friend.
You guys played with
Me.
Hunter before, right?
We have, yeah. Hunter's a great.
He's
Is he a
awesome.
good friend of yours
He is
at this point?
Yes, he is, and he's been
He's super
incredibly supportive and
Yeah,
encouraging.
he's a ripper too on guitar.
yes,
Yeah,
he
he's
is.
smoking.
Yeah, we.
I mean, he ain't no
I think
striking
we
matches, but he's all right.
we steal licks back and forth. I think it's a combined, just like, I see him do something. Not sure
cool.
if that was, but I see him do something else, and I kind of like, well, I might want to kind of learn that.
Yeah.
I think you should call him and go, man, hey man, I saw you on CMT the other day. Why you keep stealing shit
Why
from me?
you-
Like,
Yeah.
I think
Well,
that'd be
seriously,
the,
just-
every week you call Hunter Hayes and ask him why he keeps stealing from you.
Yeah.
And so you did you both write with Ashley for her upcoming album?
Yeah.
You write
Yeah.
together? Mm-hmm. Yeah? You
Yeah.
always write together? Do you
Yeah,
ever write
pretty
without
much.
each other?
Rarely,
Yeah.
every now and then. And a lot of times when we write, we'll write separately first and kind of bring it together. But every now and then, one of us will go write with someone else. But for the most part, we just
Yeah.
were together.
And with
pretty much
Ashley,
all the time,
you've written with Ashley, and it's just always so natural. Usually
Yeah.
we're just kind of sitting around, just messing around.
Yeah.
She'll go, "What's that?"
And she'll
we'll
pop
go,
out something genius.
"Oh yeah," and then we'll just
She's a great
kind of,
little writer.
Yeah,
kind of
she
be off
really
to the
is.
races before we even knew we were gonna
Yeah, like,
start
oh, there's a
writing,
song.
which is the way I like to write.
Yeah.
Right. One of the odd things I think about, the fact that you have songs on a television show called Nashville about country music, basically, and the town. And also, you don't have an album out yet,
Yeah.
but you're able to go to the UK and play for people who actually know your music and want to hear it. How did that happen? And how often do you go? And how many people really come out? Because the rumor is 100,000 a night.
That was true.
Oh,
That's
man,
maybe
so
a little
true.
high, but close,
Just
not
that
by much.
Well, we did back in March. There's a festival called the Sea to Sea Festival. It's called Country to Country, and it's this sort of, I guess, 2 or 3 day festival in.
And is it country music?
Mostly, I'd say it's a lot of American country acts and then some European country acts, and they all kind of play. So the
Well,
CMA,
who's a European country act that does well in the U.S.?
not really sure.
I know some Australian stuff, but that's
yeah,
it.
Yeah, I think that's.
All the headliners were American country acts. I will say that.
I mean, they had, as far as the country genre goes, they had the big guys. I mean, they had
Yeah, Dirks
Paisley
and Paisley and Dixie Chicks.
and it
so
was
awesome.
at the O2 Arena over there, and it was packed for 2 or 3 days straight, sold out completely. And
But we did, the CMA brought us over there to do their songwriter series night, the first night of the festival. So it was a round with Bob DePiro and Brett James and Martina McBride. And that was where the first, I think there were like 4,000 or so people there.
It was about a Ryman size
Yeah.
venue. So
Oh, that's cool.
pretty
We're all
close.
good friends with Martina.
Yeah,
She
she's
takes
awesome.
good care of you too,
Yeah,
right?
she's the sweetest,
She,
yeah.
actually, we had a microphone
Oh yeah, my mic's
malfunction.
first time my mic stand is falling, and she got up and she fixed it for me while I was trying to
Oh,
sing.
that's
It's
cute.
so nice.
Yeah, she's a
and then
real
we had
sweet.
a couple of other shows just around. It's sort of like a CMA fest in the sense that they have a couple other stages around. So we had a couple of those, and the people just started to come out to those, and that's kind of what got us to go back. So we went back in June and sold out one night at the Borderline, and so they gave us a second night, and we sold out that night too. I mean, definitely a lot of it came from that festival, but a lot of it comes from the show as well.
Yeah.
Because they're like super fans of the show over there.
Really? More than here,
so
huh?
I don't know.
Because
it's
they're
hard to
big
say. I
fans
mean,
of it. I don't
yeah.
know.
That separation, the mystery of
Yeah.
Yeah,
of that
exactly.
whole
I think that-
idea
Yeah,
is really
for sure.
appealing.
Yeah.
And they love music over there. Like, it doesn't
What do you
matter
think of
what
country
kind.
music in the state of country music right now? Is it right where you want it to be going, or is it disappointing in any way, or is it like better than you ever thought it would be?
I think there's a lot of really great acts coming in, like Ashley, Casey Musgraves, Brandy Clark, even Hunter. I think they're getting
Really, really talented.
Yeah,
And-
super
Who's some
talented.
crap acts that
Let's see.
Not if
anybody?
we listen to the radio, we might know.
You guys big into the Florida Georgia line?
I actually we went to school with one of them. He was in one of my classes. One of them. Yeah, nice
It's-
guy.
Okay,
You know
yeah,
what?
I can totally hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Who else do you despise in the music industry?
Well, let's see.
Because this is probably a terrible thing to do to you as nudie in your career as you are, but I am really into ruining people on the podcast.
You know what? I mean, everybody's doing their thing,
Yeah.
and as long as somebody out there connects with it,
Yeah.
That's-
Who
More
power
are you
to
guys
'em.
connecting with right now? Like, who's new that you connect with, and then who's not so new but still doing great work that you look up to?
Who's new? Hunter for sure. He's still new. I think newish.
absolutely.
And Ashley. I mean, her new record. What I've heard of it is
yeah,
phenomenal.
it's killer. And not just the ones we wrote with her. So.
No, I wasn't even thinking about those.
Not that we're partial or biased
right.
or anything like that.
But that's just kind of in the country world. Who else am I really liking right now?
I've actually gone back into the stores of my music collection.
Yeah.
Man, I'm not even really listening.
How about
to,
Vince Gill?
Yes.
Well, yeah, he's
So good.
he's the man.
Tremendous guitar
yes,
player.
amazing.
I think
Voice of
for
an angel or three.
for
Yeah,
for me,
right.
you have that one guy who's maybe that guy you can't even really form sentences around.
Would that be him?
That's probably him.
Really? You know, your manager just went and played golf with him the other
Yeah.
day. He wasn't
Isn't that
impressed.
He can
crazy?
form
He
sentences
wasn't
around
impressed
him.
with Vince one bit. Didn't
Wasn't
stutter
convinced.
around him. He wasn't shy.
Yeah,
In fact, he probably called him some bad names on the course.
likely.
As I know those guys
Yeah.
well
Right.
enough to know that they were talking some shit
Yeah.
on the links. Do
Well,
either of
that's
you
what
play
you do.
golf?
No, I really want to try though. I've always wanted to.
You know that
really?
Vince Gill is
Always
a
wanted
scratch
to.
golfer?
Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
But the guy that produced your record
Yeah.
beat him just recently.
what we
T-Bone
heard.
Burnett.
That's
Let's
the
talk
tail
about
of the
T-Bone
tape.
for a second
Yeah.
because I've never worked with him, but that "Oh Brother Where Art Thou" thing, man.
Oh,
Yep.
Like, and then he, the first Counting Crows record, everything that
Right.
that guy touches is kind of
Well,
great.
I really dug the Alison Krauss Robert Plant thing.
Man.
and that was
So
just
good, right?
dripping with tremolo and just you could
Yeah.
Yeah.
feel the electricity rolling through the the tracks and
Yeah.
just had such a cool vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. He was an imposing guy. He's recorded Roy Orbison.
I know.
I mean,
That is-
You said
not
he's a
think about.
what guy?
an imposing guy.
Huh.
I mean, just he's very tall. He's got
Yes,
this
very
this-
tall.
How tall?
On paper, he's not at all in person. He's
But
Right.
Grady's
he's
pretty
really
tall.
They're
Yeah,
about the same height, right?
He's taller than Grady.
he's even
So
taller. than
we're
Grady.
both pretty short.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know if you noticed. I mean, we're all.
I
I'm
never
wearing heels,
noticed that
so-
about you.
Thanks.
All I could
Thanks.
notice about you is that you rip on guitar.
Thanks. That's
I don't even know that you were a human being. I thought you were just fingers.
Robot fingers.
Hey, speaking of fingers, do you think we could ask Jerry to join us and play another one of your
Yeah,
numbers?
please. Yes, please do.
This song, I thought maybe I could throw a little bit of my voice in the chorus, but I
Yes,
have a
please
feeling
do.
I'll ruin it.
No.
So I may or may not. But we checked out "Make a Liar Out of Me." Is this on your new album?
It's gonna be, yeah.
Cool. So yeah, we checked this out on the CMT. Are you on CMT a lot? Because John Hamlin is a lovely guy. Oh yeah, you should take this back.
Okay. Every now and then, the first time they ran that performance, it was on 4th of July, I guess a year ago, and we had done it they had this, they called it Independence Day, but they played all of these indie artists all day, 24 hours of indie artist videos, and I was just at the gym, and I was like on the elliptical, I was just going, I had CMT on the thing, and then I look up, and I was like, oh my God, there's my face on CMT, and the girl in front of me was watching it too, and I thought that we really won when she didn't change it. She didn't change the channel, so I was like, all right, it's not bad, it's okay, we survived it. But it was just, it's I'm sure you know, it's cool to see your own face on TV for the first time.
Did anyone in the gym recognize you when they saw it?
I look pretty awful at the gym, so.
Isn't that funny? That has happened to me too. I'll be watching like a video while I'm on a treadmill, and I'll look around like, check this out, check it. Hey, that shit's me. Check it out. Nobody, nothing, nobody
That
at all.
disappointed me. I was kind of like, maybe she'll see me and I'll be over here. She'll be like, oh my God, love your song. No, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
It always happens to me in the sauna, though. Sauna? You have a TV in the sauna? Well, I don't know. People just come up to me.
That's weird.
Hey, something for you to keep in mind here when you're playing the song on the Patcast. If Jerry decides to play what seems like the wrong note, you just go with Jerry.
All right, I
Yeah, right there. You just go where he goes. He's a genius.
What was that? Was that like
You got it, man. Just follow me.
Yeah.
like D sharp demolished? That's G demolished.
Playing jazz by the end of
will. Right, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Don't you come any closer. Somebody might get hurt. and keep your composure. I tell myself, don't touch the flame if you don't wanna get burned. And this kind of temptation, I swore I wouldn't give in. 'Cause once you felt your heart break, you find yourself saying you're never gonna fall again. So go on, make a liar out of me. Prove me wrong if you want to make me believe in this feeling between us. Said I didn't need, don't you see that I love you to make a liar out of me. And no, I don't wanna kiss you. I don't wanna stay here tonight. And it ain't like me to go back on my word, but to tell you the truth, I might. So go on, make a liar out of me. Prove me wrong if you want to make me believe in this feeling between us. Said I didn't need, don't you see that I love you to make a liar out of. So go on, make a liar out of me. 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 Prove me wrong if you want to make me believe in this feeling between us. Said I didn't need, don't you see that I love you to make a liar out of me.
Damn.
Thanks, Jerry.
I didn't hit any claps.
No, he didn't at all.
Yeah, I couldn't have sung further from the mic, and Jerry didn't even have a mic.
Yeah, I did, dude. That was me taking all the
But I
tasty
could hear
shreds.
you, and
Yeah.
it sounded awesome. That's hard to do on
So
a couch.
who inspired you to play the slide?
That kind of happened by accident, really. I used to do this thing called the School of Rock, which has become, it started in Philadelphia, but it's all over the country now. And one of my songs that I got assigned was Traveling Riverside Blues, Led Zeppelin tune. And, well, it's not really, it's a cover, but, and it's got the whole, so I had to, by assignment, learn to play slide, and I just fell in love with it. Kind of put it down for a while, but then we started just doing some songs. Who were your favorite
slide players?
Definitely Derek Trucks, Bonnie Raitt. I know, smoking. Who else?
Landreth.
Yeah, Sonny Landreth is a huge one.
Who?
But I find Sonny Landreth.
Huh, I don't know.
He's real good.
Yeah,
but I find, I've kind of just, I probably need to listen more. But I've kind of made my own thing out of it, which has been fun. It's just sort of, it's been an experimental part of the instrument for me. It's something a little different from Justin, and he can do the finger things, and I have to use a pick, so I use a slide.
I love it. The combination of what you guys do is really great, and your voices work great.
Thank you.
I just want to finish up with the last couple of questions. One is Sarah, when you sang Bruises with us the other day, and you messed up the first verse.
I know.
Is that
so
because
sorry.
you hate the band? You don't like me? What is it that inspired you to ruin everybody's night?
Was that multiple
I ruined
choice?
my own night. Don't worry.
It is
Like
A, B, or
multiple
C.
choice. You could choose all of them. That's D.
What about none of them?
Is there an
that's
E? Is
not
there
a
a none of the
choice.
above?
Honestly,
Do you know?
this
Wait, do you know whose line she sang instead?
well, I started to sing the good to see.
She loved
instead
your
of,
part so
I know.
much.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I've been a huge fan of you guys forever, and
you're
it
nice.
sort of just hit me when I got up there. I was fine, I've known the song for a while because I love the song, and so totally cool, knew all the lyrics, and then I got up there, I was like, oh my god, I'm on stage with Train, and I don't even know what to do with myself.
That happens to me
And just-
sometimes, and I get this weird stomach pain.
Yeah, I got that too.
And then all the words disappear.
Yep, that's exactly what happened.
It's so weird. It was
Yeah, sorry
cute. It was
about
cute
that.
and funny, and I couldn't care less. Trust
I
me.
felt so bad.
Such a good line, though.
I was like,
I might have cried.
But and this has nothing to do with that. But Justin is going to be singing the girl part tonight.
Oh,
Yeah.
Can you do it right now, please?
So here we go. Ready? Have you seen him?
not in years.
This is going to be terrible, but it's going to be real funny. So, what are some of the things that you've found on tour now that you've been touring a little bit, or a lot actually, that you could tell these podcast listeners about that maybe they wouldn't know about? Places that you visited that you found like a great place that sells perhaps like Star Wars characters, which Pergo and Jerry would be excited about. A great pancake place or a record store, something that you found that you wouldn't have found otherwise.
Yeah.
Well, we usually, just because we're coffee, I mean, coffee addicts doesn't really even adequately describe it. I think we both have intravenous devices
You
that
drink
we.
a lot of coffee, or you're particular about the coffee?
Both.
What is-
Yeah, I think as you drink a lot of it, you become more and more
particular.
particular about it.
Right. And so, where have you found the best coffee so far?
Possibly San Francisco.
Yeah.
Really?
Blue
Have you been to
Yeah.
Blue
Seattle?
Bottle, I
Blue
love.
bottle.
No, we have
No,
not
I've
been
Never
to
been to
Seattle.
Seattle. Well, there's Blue Bottle.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
is that where you had your best?
Yep.
Yeah. That's amazing.
We
That's
found
a San
one
Francisco thing.
in New York,
New York,
too
yep.
the other day, which was very cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Blue Bottle.
Yeah.
When you go to Seattle, go to Stumptown.
Yeah,
Oh,
of
yeah.
course.
Gonna be-
Well, we
and
already
there's
drink their
Blue- yeah, I
coffee
love their
because
coffee.
people import it and stuff. So yeah, we know they're
When people
amazing.
bring Striking Matches gifts, is it typically coffee now?
Well, I hope it will be.
Right.
Yeah,
Sometimes
we
it's
get a lot of
cookies.
candy. I don't
Yeah.
know where that comes from.
Colorado, we had some a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Candy.
right. No, that was laced with drugs.
Oh, right.
That's my fear, when
Yeah.
you get a bunch of candy from random people, it's like, do I
you
eat
don't-
this or not? But if it's like peanut butter M&Ms, I kind of have to eat them.
If
So-
people bring you, say, like Swedish fish, but it comes in a prescription vial,
Totally
Those
cool.
are not the candies that you want to go like, whoa, sweet Swedish fish. They taste a little funny, but I'm going to go ahead and eat 9 of them.
Yeah.
That's not for you to ever do. Don't do that, especially in Colorado.
Man, thank you for the advice.
Is this coming from experience?
No.
No.
So what are you guys currently a fan of? A TV show or an album, something, someone?
I only watch one TV show, really. Okay, besides Nashville, of course. Besides Nashville, of course.
Justin.
Man,
And that is-
you're going to last a long time
Yeah.
in this business, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're going to
And-
lie your way to the top.
I'll keep him
Is
honest.
Grady teaching you how to do that?
Yeah, I'm learning from the best, man.
From the best.
Let me guess, Dexter.
No, actually, but Game of Thrones. Yeah, well, yeah.
How about you, Sarah?
I can't do Game of Thrones. There's too many
it's
heads coming off the people. I can't do it.
Not enough heads for me.
Yeah, to be honest.
I really still love Parks and Recreation. I know that's kind of been around for a while, but that's my
Have
favorite.
you ever watched It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
I haven't. All my friends back home love that show.
It's so nuts. You know, I
Really?
heard the story that those kids, when they started the show, it was like 8 years ago now, they got Danny DeVito by giving him basically almost everything.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, come on, man, you got to. So I don't know what the situation is now because
Wow.
he's in it, maybe for 3 minutes an
Wow.
episode or whatever, and it's always great.
Yeah.
But I wonder if he's still going home with the whole check.
Right.
And I don't think that they film it anywhere near Philadelphia. Is the
Doubt it.
What do you find that's the reason that you guys are doing this? Were there other choices, or is this it?
This was
This is it.
Yeah.
It tends to be the way when
Yeah.
you're actually gonna like make records and make a living at it.
Yeah.
That if you had a backup plan, you probably would have taken it by
Yeah.
now.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, and that common question you get where, what would you be doing if you weren't doing this?
And what's
I'd-
the answer?
I would still be doing this. I'd just be really poor. I just wouldn't be
I would
eating.
just be a poor version of
yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Or poor.
Poorer is
Yeah.
better. Yeah.
Do you guys live together in Nashville to keep it less expensive? Do you have roommates there? How do you work it out?
Yeah, I have roommates, and we're in the same complex, which makes it kind of
Oh,
handy
that's
because
cool.
we can kind of carpool everywhere.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that's nice.
makes it
It is
easy for
nice, yeah.
rehearsals.
Yeah. I drive everywhere.
Well, you get the gas
What's
mileage.
the standout moment that brought you guys here to being striking matches? Was it Grady finding you or seeing you on Class? Was there another moment? Were there separate moments? I mean, basically, it was you guys playing together
Yeah.
by random, selection that your professor. Have you ever gone to your professor and thanked him?
No,
I don't think he even knows.
Yeah, I don't think he has an idea that anything
so
even
funny.
happened. Yeah.
Obviously, that seems to be like the spearhead for why you guys are
Yeah.
together. But were there other moments that come to mind that you go like, without that, I wouldn't be here?
Yeah, we had some help. I mean,
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
much help along the way. We
Yeah.
had a great friend back in Nashville whose name's Pam Belford, and she's a songwriter. She's had some big hits with
Mm-hmm.
a lot of country acts, and she saw us playing a writers round, and she was the first one to step up and say, "Hey, I have a round at the Bluebird Cafe," which, if you guys know the Bluebird Cafe in Nashville, it's a hallowed songwriter place, and you can't get in there unless you have kind of an in
Right.
to play. And
Oh, that's
that
cool.
was one of the first times we got to play out together, and it was just in front of a really good crowd, and that was a stepping stone. I think it was just that show went so well, and
Yeah.
so we were kind of, let's keep doing it. Let's
Right.
And she introduced us to a couple of other people that have really helped us along the way, that introduced us to our publisher now. And it's all been very just like snowball. Like this person knew that person and they got on board, and it was just
It really did snowball
connected.
until and then Grady is just
Yeah.
well,
Never heard.
he's
of
in
him.
the room, yeah, but he's
Have you guys ever played Third and Lindsley?
We
unbelievable.
have, yeah.
Yeah.
We
You
just
ever gone
did
to
it-
see? You ever gone to see the Vince
Time
Gill band?
jumpers, yes,
Yes.
The Time Jumpers.
yes, they are so
So good.
They are crazy good.
Yeah, that's some of my just favorite stuff. It's kind of up there with like that Django Reinhardt jazz stuff,
Yeah.
like that Parisian gypsy
Yeah,
jazz stuff.
Yeah.
Texas swing is kind of like that, where it's just I could
All
listen
those
to
players
it for
but
hours.
you guys would fit right in. You're both such shredders. You could
Thank
sit up there
you.
and
Like,
knock
I
it
don't,
out with them.
I don't know about
Thank
that,
you.
but
And I find like that the most talented players are always so like chill and relaxed, and they're not uptight. Like Vince is like that.
So
You'd be
chill.
like, hey Vince, how's it going? Hey Pat, it's great.
Yeah.
hey, buddy.
Like, man, hey, are you okay? Are you
Yeah.
on sedative? And he's just like, no, I'm just better than everybody else.
Yeah.
So I can move slower.
Yeah.
Like he's like that.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate it.
He just is.
Yeah.
You know,
is.
he just.
And
he's
Amy
just
Grant,
is.
she's lovely.
Yeah, she's super
got to
great.
meet her a couple times. So, so what's next for you guys?
Right now we're mixing the record and getting ready to put that out.
What's the record
hopefully.
called?
We don't know.
Well, that
yet.
is a mystery.
Grady probably has an idea.
He might have
I
an
think
idea.
he does,
called, Grady?
actually. He has a good idea.
Oh, okay.
Nothing
I like
but
that
what?
idea.
Nothing but the silence.
Nothing
We got a
but
song
the
with
silence.
that title.
Yeah.
Ah,
Thinking about it. The House of Blues studio in Nashville.
wow.
Very,
interesting.
very cool room.
Super
It was,
cool room.
A lot of cool records were done there, and we just.
What's the first single, Grady?
Hey, I love them all. So.
We're going to put them all out at the same time.
Hey, Grady, we got to wrap this up soon. We don't have like a commercial break or anything. First single, Stairway to Heaven.
Right. Well,
a
we're
good
actually
choice.
mixing on the board
Yeah.
that recorded Stairway to Heaven.
That's what I heard. I read
Yeah.
that.
Over
Wow.
at T-Bone's place, he bought
heard that
the,
I'd die.
Really?
board from Sunset Sound that they did Led Zeppelin for, and all these.
Play
the
Stairway to
Doors.
Heaven with a twist for us, like the way you do.
Like
some
Yeah.
of those.
Escalator.
This is Jerry.
That's a twist, all right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's jazz. Yeah. What's that chord you hit before?
That's what the board recording sounds like.
Like that's
Jerry.
really more of like an elevator.
What'd you think of that?
Elevator.
Yeah,
heaven.
what'd you think of
What'd you
that?
think of
Rip?
those
Yeah.
chops?
It's pretty good.
So the record comes out in when?
We're hoping October. We hope.
In October?
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Single will come out. I don't know how country music works, but it'll come
We
out a
don't
few
either.
months before that.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't go well, then maybe the album will never come out.
Maybe.
Nah, we're
yes.
putting it out no matter what.
Is it still old school over there at your record label, Grady?
Old school all the way.
Old school. So
Yeah.
they put the first single out. If it doesn't go, you go to the second one. If that doesn't go, you send them both to Albuquerque.
Two formats at the same time.
Nice. I love it. So my last question is, where do people find you? How can people check you out on social media? Or if you want to give people your apartment addresses,
Yeah,
whatever you
absolutely.
want to do.
Just send personal things. Yeah. Well, you can find us definitely we're playing a few hopefully rocking shows with Train coming up. Even maybe a Red Rocks show, which
Oh, right.
is sort of a
You guys get Red Rocks.
yeah. That's
So excited.
not a dream come true or anything.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. You'll
yeah.
love that. That's a
So
special
excited.
place. But they go to strikingmatches.com.
Yeah, and we got Facebook and Twitter at Striking
And
Matches,
everything is
Instagram.
Striking Matches.
It's all Striking
No
Matches.
underscore.
No,
capital.
we didn't need
matches
any of
all the
that
time.
nonsense.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for joining us, Pergo. Did I miss anything? Because you always have better questions, and whenever the interview's over, he always is like, "You disappoint me once again, my friend."
I just can't remember the name of that coffee place in Nashville. There's a really good one.
Barista Parlor?
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
it's so good.
Nashville
Contains-
coffee.
yeah.
I didn't know Nashville was known for its coffee.
It is becoming known.
Not,
Oh, good.
but
It
it's
is.
getting there.
It is.
Isn't there a
This-
monkey place too?
Frothy Monkey. Yeah, that's good.
What's
yeah.
it called?
Frothy Monkey.
Barista Parlor is
Fido,
kind of
that's
our
my
new.
favorite.
That's
Yeah.
kind of our edition of Blue Bottle, where they.
Well, they have
Yep.
Stumptown there, and they've got Intelligentsia there,
They're
and
smoking good.
all the good
Coffee shop,
ones.
right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on being
you.
gifted and also having addictions to coffee, which is the
be
gateway drug
worse, yeah.
to being addicted to pizza.
All right. And crack.
Yeah, I mean, I read that. It was on 60 Minutes or something. I don't remember. Ed Bradley, I think. So,
Tragic cases.
thanks so much for being a part of the
Thank you.
Patcast.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for not making me sing with you because I would have embarrassed
We
myself.
wish you had, man.
And I'll see you on stage later.
Yeah.
I'm actually talking to Justin right now. He's going to be singing Bruises with us tonight.
Don't mess up
One
the
is
first one.
5 and 1 is 3.
All right. Thanks a lot. Striking Matches, everybody.
Thank you.
And Grady. All right, that was Striking Matches. And if you really want to hear some exciting news, you can check those guys out on Sail Across the Sun this February. Our second annual train cruise, Striking Matches, is confirmed. So if you like what you heard and you haven't purchased your cabin yet, it's time to do it. Get on it. StrikingMatches.com is where you can find those guys, or at Striking Matches at Twitter and Instagram. And if you want to find us, go to at Patcast Podcast at Instagram and Twitter, or you can go to patcast.com on the intranet. I think that's what they call it, the intranet. And thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next time. I love you so much.